Hello brothers and sisters, this is Cheyenne, Loving Warrior for Christ, and I just wanted to show y'all something I thought was interesting. It's a video clip of Obama talking, and he's telling the audience that he has a video of his birth, and he was going to show it to them, but it was like a joke. And they show a video clip, and it happens to be a Disney movie of The Lion King, and they could have picked anything to show as a joke, but they chose this little portion of the video from The Lion King that I thought was kind of interesting, because in the video it's showing like all the animals bowing down to the main character in the movie, like the main, like a king. They're bowing down to a king, and that's what they're showing. And if you pay attention, a lot of people try to make Obama, their Lord and Savior, or they think Obama is like king or something like that. People put him on a pedestal, and I just thought it was an interesting choice that they chose to show for that, for his birth. And if y'all could just watch that. And then there's also another clip where it shows that he has some kind of scar in the back of his head, which is, I've always noticed it too, and I always wondered about it, because it's a pretty big scar. And then there's something in the Bible that talks about that the Antichrist will have a head wound, which I'm not sure if that's, the same thing, that it's, if it's related to that. And then also it talks about the Antichrist will change laws and times, and if you notice, Obama, that's all he's about, is changing laws. He's about change. He's trying to change everything. So, I mean, he is fitting a lot of the characteristics that the Bible says that the Antichrist will do. Like, he's got the Obama healthcare plan, and if you read on it, it has an RFID chip that will be implanted under the skin for, like, medical purposes and, other purposes too. And it's in his medical, Obama healthcare medical plan, and then the Bible says that the Antichrist will, pretty much have a mark that will go in your right hand or your forehead, and it just kind of seems like Obama's playing the role pretty well for the Antichrist. I know some of you may not agree, but please just watch this video and then tell me what you think. Don't just watch like 5 minutes or 2 seconds and then give me your thoughts, because I don't know, you can't give a good comment unless you actually watch the whole video and then give me your thoughts. But anyways, God bless you all, and I love you, and I hope everyone's doing well. Alright, bye.
On President Obama's head. I'm talking really restrained, well thought out theories here, like, did the president have brain surgery and not tell anyone? Or how is that, and if he did, how has that affected his thinking? Is that why he needs a teleprompter, people have asked online? Is this why he doesn't want anyone to see his birth certificate, people have asked?
It is wonderful to be here at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What a week. As some of you heard, the state of Hawaii released my official long-form birth certificate. Hopefully, this puts all doubts to rest. But just in case there are any lingering questions, tonight, I'm prepared to go a step further. Tonight, for the first time, I am releasing my official birth video. Now, I warn you, no one has seen this footage in 50 years. Not even me. But let's take a look. Oh well. Back to square one. I want to make clear to the Fox News table, that was a joke. That was not my real birth video. That was a children's cartoon. Call Disney if you don't believe me. They have the original long-form version.
First of all, giving honor to God and our Lord and Savior, Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Y'all stand up right now. You gotta.
White House. Now that is some shit. Thank you. That is some amazing shit. That means there is hope in this country. And Obama is fighting for gay rights. Okay?
We're gonna spread freedom. Obama's gonna change it. Obama's gonna lead 'em. We're gonna change it.
With the prophet Martin Luther King Jr., we cry out of all the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the From lobbying efforts that block access to quality health care for all.
Yes, we can.
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 Obama speaks on race and America. Yes, we can. Embrace the burdens of our past, down the ridiculous of our past. Yes, we can.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's such a blessing to see you, Mr. President. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Oh, gracious God, thank you so much.
I pledge
to be a servant to our president
and all mankind,
because together we can, together we are, and together we will be the change that we seek.
A new chance to be our best, to serve our highest purpose. Yeah. So I'm gonna need your help tonight, you know, because I'm up here all by myself. I just wanted it to be me and you. So help me celebrate this most monumentous day. Yeah. I'll tell you what to do. I need you to say, it's a new day. It's a new day. What is getting ready? Everybody ready? Yeah. For a new day. For a new day. Celebrate and say, celebrate and say, yeah, because he's president and he's on fire, hotter than a fantasy, lonely like a highway. He's living in a world and it's on fire, filled with catastrophe, but he knows he can fly away. Oh, he's got 4 feet on the ground and he's burning it down. Oh, got his head in the clouds and he's not backing down. Obama's on fire. Obama's on fire. He's walking on fire. Obama's on fire. Whoa, everybody stares as he goes by, 'cause they can see the flame that's in his eyes. Watch him as he's lighting up the night. Everybody knows that Michelle is his girl. Together they run the world, and we gon' let it burn, baby, burn, baby. Oh, Obama's on fire. Oh, Obama's on fire. He's walking on fire. Oh, Obama's on fire. Whoa.
We're gonna spread freedom. Obama's gonna change it. Obama's gonna lead 'em. We're gonna change it.
With the prophet Martin Luther King Jr., we cry out of all the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhumane. From healthcare systems and industries that place profit over people. From lobbying efforts that block access to quality healthcare for all.
Yes, we can.
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 Obama speaks on race to America. Yes, we can. Embrace burdens all past down the ridiculous of our past. Yes, we can.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's such a blessing to see you, Mr. President. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Oh, gracious God, thank you so much.
I pledge
to be a servant to our president,
and all mankind,
because together we can, together we are, and together we will be the change that we seek.
When they're been over, she would approach the children. She would say to each one, "Are you the one? Are you the one?" Remember how she stood in that doorway and she held that baby in her arms and she said, "Are you the one, Jimmy? Are you the one?" Well, I watched that movie many years ago, but I do believe today I have the answer to Miss Pittman's question. It's a question that the entire nation is asking. Is he the one? Is he the one? South Carolina, I do believe he's the one. Giving us the audacity of hope. We're on.
got to be a guy, so women, you got to all sit down. Women, you got to all sit down. It's got to be a man. All right. I'm going to call on this guy because he had the cap, and he thought I had called on him, and I didn't. So, all right, right here, the guy with the cap. Last question. Of course, now it better be a good one. Go ahead.
Oh, it's such a blessing to see you, Mr. President. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Oh, gracious God, thank you so much.
All right, what's the question?
All right, Mr. President. My name is Julio Acegueda. I'm currently a student at Edison State College in my second semester. And, okay, I've been at the same job, which is McDonald's, for 4.5 years because of the fact that I can't find another job. Now, with the fact that I've been there for as long as I've been there, do you have any plan or any idea of making one that has been there for a long time receive any better benefits than what they've already received?
Well, I tell you what. First of all, a couple things I'd like to say. Number one, the fact that you are working as hard as you're working at a job that I know doesn't always pay as well as some other jobs, I think that's a source of pride for you. That shows that you're doing the right thing. Now, the second thing is that you will actually benefit from the tax breaks that we're talking about, so you'll be able to keep a little bit of extra money because we're going to offset your payroll tax. That's going to help. Oh, I assume that you're not getting health care through your job, and so one of the things that we want to do is reform the health care system so that you will have access to health care in your job. But the thing that I'm really interested in is, you say you're going to school. What are you studying?
I'm looking to study and majoring in communications, hopefully being a broadcaster or a disc jockey.
Well, you sound like you've got a good communication skills.
Thank you so much.
So part of what we want to do is we want to make it easier for you to afford going to college by giving you this refundable tax credit for your tuition. Because young people like Julio, who have that much enthusiasm and that much energy, we've got to make sure that we are giving them a pathway so that they can educate themselves and go as far as their dreams take them. Thank you very much, Fort Myers. I appreciate you.
All right, Julio, he's king for the day.
Is it possible that alien technology has been used to create a robotic droid to replace Obama?
This is basically the stage setup. Ken can explain the whole story. Are these like wax figures or holograms? Audio animatronics. Animatronics. Robots. They're robots. This is actually you. Well, let's see. There you go. It made me better looking. The American dream is as old as our founding, but as timeless as our hopes. It is reborn every day in the heart of every child who wakes up.
Chapter 10, verse 18, we read these words of Jesus. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. These words are written in Greek and translated to English. However, Jesus probably spoke these words in Aramaic. Aramaic is a part of the Northwest Semitic group of languages, which also includes Hebrew. Aramaic script was widely adopted for other languages and is ancestral to the Arabic and Hebrew alphabets. Two words in this text are of particular interest. The words are lightning and heaven. Jesus said, I saw Satan falling as lightning from heaven. In Greek, the word for lightning is astrape. It has a direct Hebrew equivalent. From Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, words 1299 and 1300 from the Hebrew language, the word for lightning is barak. In the Greek text of Luke chapter 10, the word translated as heaven in Greek is uranos. It can mean the heaven of God, but it also carries with it the connotation of the heights, or a high place, or the domain of Satan himself. Evidence of this is found in the same book of Luke, in chapter 8, verse 5, when Jesus speaks of the gospel being attacked demonically. He uses these words, "And the birds of the air devoured it." Here, the most accepted context by biblical scholars is that the birds are the demonic realm and the air is the realm of Satan, from on high, or the heights. The Greek word used here for air is uranos, evidence that this Greek word is not always used in the sense of the heaven of God, but it can be used for the heights or the high places or the domain of Satan himself. In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, this is the exact context of Jesus' words. "I saw Satan falling like lightning from the heights or the high places, or from Satan's domain on high, or from the heavens or heaven." If Jesus' word, translated in the English text as heaven, was referring to the heaven of God, the Hebrew word would be shamayim. More than likely, though, according to the context of Luke 10 and Luke 8, Jesus was not referring to the shamayim of God, but rather the domain of Satan. Now consider this amazing fact. The book of Isaiah is the source of origin for the Christian concept of Satan, or Lucifer. In Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 19 especially. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14, we hear these words spoken by Satan himself. "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." This matches the exact context of Jesus' words in Luke chapter 10. In the verses of Isaiah that refer directly to Lucifer, several times it is mentioned that Satan has fallen from the heights or from the heavens. The Hebrew word used in this text for the heights from which Satan fell is Hebrew word number 1116 in the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, and it is pronounced Bama. Bama is most commonly used to refer to a high sacred place, as well as to the heights of the heavens or clouds. So in Jesus' prophecy of Luke chapter 10, verse 18, if spoken by a Jewish rabbi in Hebrew, influenced by the poetry of Isaiah, he would use, in one form or another, depending upon the exact wording and context, the words that come from the root forms of these two Hebrew words, Barak and Bama, to describe Satan falling like lightning from on high. Hebrew for lightning is Barak, and Hebrew for the heights or the high places is Bama. This fact is indisputable. So is Jesus actually giving us a clue as to who the future Antichrist might be? Many believe so. It is possible that it is merely a strange coincidence. Yet it cannot be denied. If Hebrew words were used to describe Jesus' statement about Satan falling or coming to earth, perhaps as a man in the form of the Antichrist, the Hebrew words Barak and Bama would be used.
If you look at Barack Obama's audiences and look at the effect of his words, those people are being transformed from what they were. His language is raising them above their racial, ethnic, cultural, religious differences, and he is welding people into a bond that has never been seen before. What's going on? Who is this young man?
I want to
Christian God is the one and only true living God, the creator of heaven and the universe. Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
I agree.
You are an Antichrist.
I agree Jesus Christ is the Lord. I believed in that. List those off. In terms of speaking to former presidents, I've spoken to all of them that are living. Obviously, President Clinton. Hey, I didn't want to get into a Nancy Reagan thing about, doing any seances.
You were the first that I know of nationally to use the adjective arrogant in describing Barack Obama. Is this an example of that arrogance?
Oh, absolutely. And not only is the statement arrogant, but then how he handled it is arrogant. He made the statement, then he tried to soften the statement before, thinking that somehow or another he could cover up and say, well, that's not exactly what I said. And he's also very arrogant. He is an ironic, sardonic observer of what's been going on in the Senate since he arrived there. Not a participant, but he's been, he's very smart, and he knows it. And he lets that display itself by the kind of arrogance we've seen here in the last couple of weeks.
As president, I will end misguided defense policies. I'm the only major candidate who opposed this war from the beginning. And as president, I will end it.
Coalition and Iraqi security forces have achieved progress in the security arena. A premature drawdown of our forces would likely have devastating consequences.
You were one of Barack Obama's first supporters, back when few people really had faith in him to do this job. How does it feel tonight?
It feels like hope won. It feels like it's not just a victory for, obviously, Barack Obama. It feels like America did the right thing.
Passages of Scripture should guide our public policy. Should we go with Leviticus, which suggests slavery is okay? Or we could go with Deuteronomy, which suggests stoning your child if he strays from the faith? Or should we just stick to the Sermon on the Mount, a passage that is so radical that it's doubtful that our own Defense Department would survive its application? Folks haven't been reading their Bible.
Contrary to the rumors that you've heard, I was not born in a manger. I was actually born on Krypton and sent here to save the planet Earth. We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set.
Everybody somewhere between the ages of 18 and 25 will serve 3 months of basic training.
We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong. Yes, we can.
Obama's health care plan will include coverage of all essential medical services. Yes, we can.
Thank you, sir. 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 When there was despair in the Dust Bowl and the Lord said the nerves is the window. Thank you, sir. The Lord said the nerves is the window. Thank you, sir. The Lord said the nerves is the window. Thank you, sir. A new sense of common purpose. Yes, we can. Thank you, sir. Sabert na markvas näsuna. Thank you, sir. Sabert na markvas näsuna. Thank you, sir. Sabert na markvas näsuna. Shall overcome. Yes, we can. A man touched down on the moon. Thank you, sir. Marker will ask you. Thank you, sir. Marker will ask you. Thank you, sir. Marker will ask you. They're going to try to say, well, you know, he's got a funny name. And he doesn't look like all the presidents on the dollar bills and the $5 bills. You know, he's new, doesn't look like the other presidents on the currency.
Instruments that God is going to use to bring about universal change. And that is why Barack has captured the youth. And he has involved young people in a political process that they didn't care anything about. That's a sign. When the Messiah speaks, the youth will hear. And the Messiah is absolutely speaking.
First of all, giving honor to God and our Lord and Savior, Barack Obama. Barack Obama.
she would approach the children. She would say to each one, "Are you the one? Are you the one?" Remember how she stood in that doorway and she held that baby in her arms and she said, "Are you the one, Jimmy? Are you the one?" Well, I watched that movie many years ago, but I do believe today I have the answer to Miss Pittman's question. It's a question that the entire nation is asking. Is he the one? Is he the one? South Carolina, I do believe he's the one. And that's the audacity of hope.
Now, I know some people want me to bypass Congress and change the laws on my own. Believe me. And believe me, right now dealing with Congress, the idea but believe me, the idea of doing things on my own is very tempting. I promise you, not just on immigration reform.
After my election, I have more flexibility.
I understand. I trust this scholarship to let you understand.
As the U.S. prepares to send 30,000 more troops to Afghanistan, President Barack Obama receives his Nobel Peace Prize in Norway. The nomination, announced in October, elicited swift reaction. Some praised the choice, while others questioned whether or not Obama really deserved it. By then, the president had been in office for less than a year, whereas the Peace Prize is traditionally given for long-term achievements. In his acceptance speech, the president said, "War is sometimes a necessary measure to achieve peace."
I am pro-choice. I believe in Roe versus Wade, and I come to that conclusion not because I'm pro-abortion. It is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
Friends, implantable identification chips have been around for a very long time. You've no doubt heard about chips implanted in pets so that a lost animal can be scanned and then safely returned to its owners. Look, today's radio frequency identification chips, RFID is what we'll call them in this segment, they're about the size of a piece of rice. There are other types that are tiny too, little tiny squares. Their basic function is to retain information, basically to allow themselves to be scanned to retrieve that info. And this is the best part, and to track the being that that implant is in. Now, I know that there's a lot of hardcore Christians out there and a lot of hardcore rapture people out there that are saying, mark of the beast, that's what this is. Whether it is or not, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Obamacare. That's right, House Resolution 3962, better known as Obamacare. Now, go to house.house.gov/rules/health/11-AHCAA.pdf. You'll need Adobe to open this file up. Type in page 1501 of 1990 at the upper left-hand corner of the page. This is going to bring you to Subtitle C, Food and Drug Administration, Part 1, Section 2571, National Medical Device Registry. Now, we're sending you to the website for a very specific reason. So all you liberals out there can't say that we are conspiracy theorists making all this stuff up. Every bit of information that I use is going to come from reliable sources. Two of the sources will be federal government sources. This one in particular, the House website that gives you all the wording of the bill, and the other one will be from the FDA's website. We have an outside website also, but it's actually the manufacturer who makes these implants. So it's their own company website. Again, we're not looking at a blogger's website or something like that. These are official websites of the federal government or the manufacturer of these implants that we're going to be sending you guys to. That's why we sent you here. Now, immediately under that particular section that I just told you to go to, it reads, the Secretary shall establish a National Medical Device Registry to facilitate analysis of post-market safety and outcomes data on each covered device. Now, go down a few lines and you're going to see the first device they're talking about is a Class 3 device. Class 3 devices are breast implants, pacemakers, things like that. Things that basically are already being implanted in a human being to facilitate some kind of function. Again, whether it's a breast implant or a pacemaker. Class 2 devices are the ones that we're more concerned with. The next section says, may include as the Secretary determines appropriate. Now, keep in mind, I don't remember what the numbers are on this. Somebody came out a while back and talked about how many times it refers to the Secretary's discretion as to what she, Kathleen Sebelius, can determine necessary. They leave this open-ended for her to determine this, which we know what that is. That's Barack Obama. Whatever he wants to do, she's going to do, because she's obviously his little puppet. That's many, many times in here. So don't be mistaken when you see that. It's not something to be taken lightly. It's something open-ended that basically allows them to do whatever they want because it's at her discretion. It says, may include, as the Secretary determines appropriate and specifies in regulation, a Class 2 device that is life-supporting or life-sustaining. Now, in order for you to take my word for the fact of what a Class 2 device is, guess where we went? We went to the federal government site, the FDA's website. Go to FDA.gov. FDA.gov. Click on the tab, Medical Devices, at the upper left-hand corner of your page. This is going to bring you to a page that basically describes all types of medical devices out there. Now, if you'll look, it says Guidance for Industry and FDA Staff, Class 2 Special Controls. Below that guidance document, implantable radio frequency transponder system for patient identification and health information. Now, this document was issued on December 10th, 2004. It is still there. This is not an old document that's it's been changed or reworded or anything like that. This is the policy that they're following right now, even though it was set up in 2004. This is a policy that's out there now. This is not an Obama administration deal right here. Obama administration, they're opportunistic and they take advantage of certain situations. They didn't create this particular one. They're just following through on it. So keep in mind of the date we have in here. And I'm saying that for very particular reasons. Obama is going to take the bulk of the credit for Obamacare because he deserves it. He's taking these tools that are laid out there for us, and he's basically driving us even further off into oblivion where nothing is going to be able to be controlled because they will manage everything. But this has been set up by other administrations also. He's just taking the baton and moving on with it. Scroll down the page under number 1, background. This guidance document was developed as a special control guidance to support the classification of the implantable radio frequency transponder system for patient ID and health information into Class 2 special controls. The device is intended to enable access to secure patient identification and corresponding health information in humans. Once you go to page 1505, type in 1505 at the top. Up the upper left-hand corner, you're going to notice there's this little box up there. The amount of pages in this particular bill on this PDF version of it is 1990. Type in 1505 right to the box to the left of it. In this paragraph, the term data refers to information respecting a covered device, including claims data, insurance claims data, all of your claim history, and everything will be in here. Patient survey data, and we'll move on down to electronic health records and any other data deemed appropriate by the Secretary. Now, here we go with that open-ended deal again. Any other data that the Secretary, parentheses, Barack Hussein Obama, deems necessary, they can put on here. This is a law. This is a bill that's allowing them to put whatever they want on a chip that's going to be implanted into human beings, okay? The Secretary is going to determine what's allowable to go on here. Move on to page 1506, to permit analysis of linked data. Linked data, think about what we're talking about, linked data. It's all these health records, but there's other things also. How about your bank account? How about your bank account? Why would they have the bank account in there, you're thinking? And they don't have the right to do that. They can't put my bank account information on here, can they? There's no way. This is for health reasons, right? We're going to skip to a different segment real quick because I want you to understand how this fits in here. We're going to go to a totally different section in the same document, but a totally different section. Go to page 77. Type page 77 into that box at the upper left-hand corner of your page. It reads, under D, enable the real-time or near real-time determination of an individual's financial responsibility at the point of service and to the extent possible prior to service, including whether the individual is eligible for a specific service. Do you get what they're saying right here? Determination of an individual's financial responsibility at the point of service. Now, it's to enable real time, not to see if this is to see if somebody can pay for this and to take the money out of their bank account. They're not just trying to see if you can pay for it. Enable the real time determination of an individual's financial responsibility at the point of service. They're going to check and see what you owe, and they're going to enable the ability to take that money out of your account, because they're going to have all this account. How else are they going to enable? How else are they going to check and see what your financial responsibility is and if you can provide it? How else are they going to know that you can fulfill that financial responsibility? How are they going to know that if they don't have some kind of a link to your bank account, to your records? Now, you want more good news? Go to page 735. Type in 735 in that page box and go to 735. Encourage, as appropriate, the development and use of clinical registries and the development of clinical effectiveness research data networks from electronic health records, post-marketing drug, and medical device surveillance efforts and other forms of electronic health data, blah, 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 blah. Medical device surveillance. Medical device surveillance. What do you think of when you think of surveillance? What are they trying to survey? Better yet, who are they trying to survey? Medical device surveillance. They will be able to survey. In other words, this is a radio frequency transponder. It's sending a signal. You're going to be plugged into one of the largest surveillance projects out there in history when you have your little rice-sized implant put in your body. Friends, I want you to think about what we just showed you. Other than RFID Canada's website, which is the manufacturer of the product itself, or it's one of the manufacturers of an RFID chip. The other two websites that I took you to, all that information is still out there right now, right this moment. You go out there now, it's there. Remember, the first website is housedocs.house.gov/rules/health/11_AHCAA.pdf. That's where you're going to find all the wording and verbiage in the House bill, 3962. Then, FDA.gov has the information to back up what a Class 2 device is from this particular House bill. So I'm sending you to not bloggers, I'm sending you to websites where you can back this info up yourself. Now, I'm just assuming what they're going to use all this for, because they're the ones tying all this together. They're the ones putting these pieces together for us. Are we that gullible where we're sitting back here going to look at all these pieces falling into place in front of our eyes and assume that can't be what that is?
I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking? You think I'm joking? You think I'm joking? You think I'm joking?
It's a mess because we have a bad foreign policy. We're pretending we're at war. We haven't declared the war, but we're at war against a tactic, and therefore there's no limits to it. So we create these monstrosities, and we do things outside the law. We come up with assassinations, allowing the president to decide who's going to be assassinated, and lo and behold, 3 Americans now have been on the list. They've been assassinated, but they don't talk about the second one because the second one happened to be a 16-year-old son of a lackey. So what are we doing here to accept this idea that our president is in this lawlessness to pursue and that we someday will be subject to those same courts? So no, you don't. You want to live within the law and obey the law, because otherwise it's going to be very bad for all of us. And this whole idea that now we can be assassinated by somebody that we don't even like to run our medical care, and giving this power to the president to be the prosecutor, the executor, the judge, and the jury, we better look at that carefully before you automatically endorse something like that.
According to a Facebook tribute page, he liked watching The Simpsons, reading Harry Potter, listening to Snoop Dogg. He was a U.S. citizen born in Colorado. 16-year-old Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki was like so many other kids his age, but he happened to be the son of Anwar al-Awlaki. 2 weeks after his father was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Yemen, the younger al-Awlaki was also killed by a drone there, along with a teenage cousin and several others.
That's the most persistent fly I've ever seen. Nice.
Now, where were we?
That is very good. It's on. It's right there.
It's right there. You want to film that? There it is.
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
Sit on, man up. Talking down to black people on those faith base.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio says he suspects President Obama's birth certificate is a fake.
We believe probable cause exists indicating that forgery and fraud may have been committed.
Arpaio says his team of volunteer investigators believes President Obama's birth certificate is computer generated. They say they have a person of interest that may be involved in that hoax.
So what is next? CBS 5's Heather Moore has been trying to get the answer to that question all night. Heather, what did you come up with?
Well, Catherine and Cena, the sheriff says maybe Congress needs to take this on next.
The President of the United States of America. Where we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation. We are no longer a Christian nation. Change has come to America.
In which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
But the burdens of global citizenship continue to bind us together.
The president is proposing to spend more than $3.5 billion.
The national debt is now over $100 billion.
Black Building 7.
Taking live now to the Justice Department. Attorney General Roberto Gonzalez brief reported on terror related.
The U.S. is on an unstable path.
Armies the size of modern nation states. Earthquakes and other horrific force of destruction. Entire cities can be wiped out.
Hurricanes, devastation,
the storm that ravaged New York. No food or water available.
think Obama is a clone of Akhenaten then?
Let's get to that. Let's have a look at this. All right. Now, I've established the idea that Akhenaten is the go-to guy for all the secret societies, from Rosicrucians to Freemasonry. If you also understand that Akhenaten was the carrier of all this knowledge, the renegade, you would understand why they would bring him back out of all people. And like I say, the Hastings Institute even went forward and said this. Well, you know what? I put this picture. Let's start with Michelle, since we have her. Let's look at Akhenaten's mother, Queen T. Akhenaten's mother, Queen T, is a mystery as well. She was brought into the pharaonic ship at the age of 4 and was co-regent with her husband, Amenhotep III. The biggest statues of pharaohs are of Queen T and her husband, Amenhotep III. And they gave birth to Akhenaten. When you look at Queen T, I would imagine you would immediately see Michelle Obama. Now, what I did is I took Michelle Obama's high school photo and I cut it in half. And I laid these two images side by side. And you can't tell I split the photo. People are using my mixed image as an original image of Queen T, because you can't even tell her face is there. If you got that picture of her high school photo and you were to crossfade these two images, you would clearly see that they are the same person.
You know, we know resemblance occurs across culture, across time periods.
And I would give that to you. And I would think the same thing. Now, honestly, if you want to look at the next picture, Barack Akhenaten, when I put this artwork together, I really only put Barack, his Time magazine photo, with Akhenaten, and I split again the faces in half. Now, I'll admit here live on television that I did not manipulate, squish, or do anything to make that face fit the other face. They just fit. I cut them straight in half and I put them together and they are an exact match. So now we have two faces of a single family of Egypt and a single family that is the first family. So you're looking at Akhenaten split with Barack Obama, and you're looking at Queen T split with Michelle Obama. And then I learned, lo and behold, that Akhenaten had 2 favorite daughters. And I said, nah, this can't be. So I dug out the images of Akhenaten's 2 daughters. And I'll tell you, Malaya and Sasha have very unique facial structures compared to each other, whereas Sasha has kind of the pudgier cheeks and Malaya is a little skinnier. They are an exact match of Akhenaten's children. So now you have 4 faces that you're dealing with. Okay, so we're dealing with the fact that you can clone a mummy, that cloning has been going on since 1951, that if the secret societies in charge of our planet were going to bring back anyone in the world, it would be this man. And now we've got this mysterious man who we call Barack Obama, and I'd like to get into more of him a little bit later. Of course, he's Barry Soetoro, Barry Dunham. Nobody knows what his name is, and I predict that as well.
No one knows where he's born. No one knows his real identity, right?
Exactly.
He was born on Krypton.
Exactly, exactly.
And if Michelle is a man, that's another question now that's been posed.
Pharaohs were very manly, and Queen Hatshepsut was another one of these female pharaohs. Now remember, Queen T was a pharaoh. Queen Hatshepsut, who also has an amazing temple that no one can explain how it was created, she would actually wear a beard so that she could stand up there as pharaoh. So these pharaonic women were very much into being manly. So I can understand when Joan Rivers comes out and says that Obama is our first gay president and that Michelle's actually a transvestite. But my theory's been running a whole lot longer, and my evidence continues to compound on itself instead of degrade.
Right. But what is the reason for Akhenaten people not being able to identify Akhenaten's body if he was a man or a woman?
Well, this goes back to the ancient astronauts hypothesis, and many people, when you begin the study of ancient astronauts, you immediately come to Akhenaten. He's the first man, the king of the ancient astronauts, because he was born with a cone head, and he had this weird body that had big, wide hips, and they actually would say that he had Marfan syndrome, because he's always depicted with a cone head and with this weirdly shaped pear body. But Akhenaten brought life to it. even depicting himself with his family and depicting himself as he naturally was, with a cone head and big wide hips. And the daughters as well, when you see their depictions, are cone heads as well, with pointed Vulcan ears.
Given this ritual of raising Akhenaten, what is your interpretation of the reasoning behind it? You know, Obama hasn't proved to be, I mean, he may be the last president, we don't know yet, but he hasn't proved to be any kind of great leader from any point of view. No one is, at this point, no one is really a big fan of his, it seems. So where is this ritual going?
Right. Now, this is where it really gets curious. Because, yes, I never expected much out of Barack Obama. And let's just state that they may never know that they were clones, right? And let's keep that clear as well. That a clone.
If they listen to you, they might figure it out. But yeah.
Right. I keep imagining Malaya saying, "Why do I have to be a cone head?" You know. And I think they must have seen my work. I'm pretty sure they must have seen my work. I've been spouting about this since they came to power, so I am pretty sure it's come across their desk. Barack Obama himself. Now, this is where it all came in. To be very curious. Now, first of all, we live on a much stranger planet than you could possibly imagine. And the elite, these leaders, the powers that be, are way ahead of us in their technology and their understandings of the universe. Now, you can glean a lot of this off FreemanTV.com because I've been following the hidden agenda for quite some time, and it's mind-boggling. So when Barack Obama came into power, I actually created my first artwork of Barack Akhenaten. And to me, this, like you were saying, was just a strange coincidence. It wasn't until I found 5 other faces and one single family that I said, okay, this is too much. Because this just can't happen. I'm sorry, that much is not coincidence. If you can get 5 faces from one single family together and make them another single family, if you can do this with any other family in the world, I'll eat my hat. But you're talking 5 faces, all right? So that's the big key here.
Where's the fifth face?
What's
There's
that?
4 faces. Who's the 5th face?
Ah, yes, we are missing one, aren't we? And then we'll get to Barack. There was one more face. You see, Barack Obama would not be married to his wife of ancient lore. He'd be married to his mother.
Right.
Queen T was his mom. Nefertiti was his famous wife.
Oh, Beyonce.
The beauty of Nefertiti. Yeah.
Beyonce. And there has always been that rumor about Obama and Beyonce when they were in, was it France or Paris together?
That is absolutely correct. And that came out right after I announced the Nefertiti-Beyonce connection. After, right? I was before that, saying, no, if this be true, then the true wife of Barack would be Beyonce. Right. And of course, at the inaugural ball, what did she do? She came out and sang, "At last, my love has come," right?
Well, there's an interesting synergy between the overall relationship of Jay-Z and Beyonce and Obama and Michelle, and how when they're both going through like divorce rumors around the same time period, I think both men have a bisexual, if not homosexual, tendency. The women actually have similar facial structures, although Beyonce is much prettier, but there is similar facial structures. It is interesting, I must say. And obviously Jay-Z being one of his biggest proponents, Obama, from the beginning, and in a certain way laying the foundation for what Obama could achieve.
Yeah. Obama was there to make you mad. That's why he's been the richest paid president. This was all a game plan to make you angry about
the name Barack Obama, you've described before. It's the stone what is it about the rock? The rock casteth down from heaven?
Okay. Before we jump to that, I just wanted to throw in that Beyonce singing Ave Maria inside of the pyramid with Zahi Hawass, and he called her a very stupid person. But yeah. So all those connections are there. When Barack went to Egypt with Zahi, he also found a cartouche of himself and said, "Look, that looks like me," right? There's Obama saying this on live television when he's looking at, and they said, "No, we think you're like King Tut," which of course he looks nothing like King Tut. He looks everything like Akhenaten. And I think they were kind of hiding that fact by introducing the King Tut factor. And Jay-Z, I have suspicions that he might have been Akhenaten's replacement, who was known as Semenkar. And I have yet to find a good picture of Semenkar to be able to compare the two. But, you know, if all the rest of it be true, then Jay-Z would be Semenkar. But, okay, Barack Obama. Yes, let's get to him. Okay, the very words Barack Obama in the Hebrew language means lightning from heaven. Okay, so I was going to get to this esoteric parts of what Barack's play is, his role in this global ritual, as we're saying. Lightning from heaven is the description of Satan in the Bible. If you were to look at the Bible and it said, and Satan fell like lightning from heaven, and you read that in Aramaic, you would read, and Satan fell like Barack Obama. You can look this up in any Hebrew dictionary. I have it there on my website if you want to check it for yourself. Barack Obama means lightning from heaven, which is the description of Satan in the Bible. Now, I've never believed that Barack Obama was meant to be the Antichrist. Although, strangely enough, when Nostradamus predicted the Antichrist, he said he would be connected with Mabus. And it turns out that Barack Obama put Ray Mabus in charge of the Space Force, the United States Space Force, right? And that all ties into this puzzle. Because when we start to look at what Obama has done and what has been going on in the 8 years that he's been around, is that we have seen the shutdown of NASA and the rise of the privatized space program and the weaponization of our current space program, known as the Ares space program, which of course is the god of war. All right, so now our space shuttles are known as the Columbia Endeavor for the discovery of Atlantis, right? And Columbia is their goddess that relates back to Isis, and this is why our capital is the District of Columbia, so the Columbia for the discovery of Atlantis. When you start to put these puzzle pieces together, there's a big show going on, and Werner von Braun was one that came forward, and he told his secretary, Carol Rosen, over and over again that there were multi-universes and that there was a major game plan going on that they were going to set up to bring about this new world order. And it would start with the Red Scare, and then it would move on to
terrorism next.
Terrorism, and then asteroids, followed by aliens, right?
As the means of militarizing space.
Yes, the Hegelian dialectic of
that prospect has been around at least since Rumsfeld and the Bush administration were pretty heavy advocates of that, of militarization of space. But as you said, the private sector being given more and more reins. I remember talking to Robert Bigelow about this when we did our Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory episode on Skinwalker, and Robert Bigelow is one of these guys who's being given mandate to transport weapons into space as part of his private sector building of spaceports and whatnot.
As we start to look into this puzzle and we start to realize that this was the game plan, I put together an artwork of Barack Akhenaten, Obama as Akhenaten, and I put an asteroid hurtling towards Earth and in kind of a pre-show. I like to show you what they're going to do before they do it, right? So I put this artwork together, and then a month later, or maybe even less, they announced, oh my God, there is an asteroid hurtling towards planet Earth and it will destroy all life in either 2029 or 2036. And this asteroid is known as Apophis. Now, this shocked me to death because Apophis is the serpent or Satan deity of Akhenaten's religion.
Like Typhon.
So now when this became broadcast all across the news, oh my God, doomsday asteroid Apophis. Now remember, that's Akhenaten's Satan, and it comes from a group of near-Earth asteroids known as the Aten, which is Akhenaten's god, right? So we have Apophis coming in while Akhenaten or Obama, Barack Akhenaten is in power, and they have to find ways to save planet Earth from this. But the truth of it is the odds of it hitting us were slim to none from the get-go. And they knew this. It was broadcast as well, but that wasn't going to make the news, and it wasn't going to push the name Apophis out into the public.
You're a great guest to have and very insightful, Freeman. Thank you so much for joining us. And people can check you out at freemantv.com. Is that the best website for you?
That's the only one.
That's it. Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us. And again, we will follow up in the coming months and get some new takes on the symbolism that is ongoing and occurring down the road.
You can get a lot of this out of our new book called Weird Stuff.
Yeah.
We have Weird Stuff Part 1 and 2 are out now, and it lays this out for you in a very down-to-earth manner. It's actually designed in such a way so that you can share this with your friends easily. Everyone will understand what it's saying. We haven't gotten to this part of the puzzle in Weird Stuff yet, so it's still at the ground floor of understanding so that you can share this information. Because this is what we find that we need to do the most, is create tools for people to share this information. So
absolutely. Yeah, so cool. But they can get that through the website, right?
Yes, absolutely. FreemanTV.com, and also Aliens from Hell, which is this whole talk that we just gave.
Well, there you have it, folks. Freeman Fly is a well-researched, very intelligent man who has a lot to offer. So we urge you to go to FreemanTV.com to watch his videos, check out his books, and take an assessment and look for yourselves and see what is occurring, because we are at a very critical juncture. And as I said, let this not come forth the peace of the grave, but instead we need true peace on earth, being peace of life and awareness and heightened consciousness. So please be the revolution, spread the news, wake your friends and fellow humans up to the reality of what is becoming a very bleak and dangerous future. This is Sean Stone.
As part of the evil cabal's code, they must first publicly present their plans before doing them. As previously seen, all the bombings in the United States have been shown ahead of time by having images of those bombings printed on U.S. currency notes. In keeping with the satanic code of mockery, the new satanic rule would announce their plans publicly. Barack Obama's acceptance speech at the Denver Broncos Stadium was one such public mockery, but the significance remained hidden from the eyes of those who live in total darkness. The altar where the president stood was an exact replication of the seat of Pergamum, the seat of Zeus. This is a direct reference to the Bible, referring to the seat of Satan. Mr. Obama gave his acceptance speech on a replica of the seat of Satan, suggesting that he, Satan, would take his throne at this time through the fit extension known as Barack Obama. The stadium also displays prominently an image of a white horse, once again alluding to the Antichrist in the book of Revelation. Many public displays, such as the Super Bowl halftime show, are merely in reality a satanic ritualistic ceremony, mocking the enslaved masses of deluded sheep. As Madonna took center stage at the Super Bowl, she stood on top of her throne, striking many interesting poses, many resembling the former goddess Ishtar. Her throne also resembled the Hoover Dam, also suggesting the destruction of the Hoover Dam as printed on the $50 bill. All of these public rituals and satanic displays are all the eventuality of the rise of the second beast out of the sea of humanity. The stunning resemblance of Barack Obama to Akhenaten is irrefutable. The reality that an alien is standing in the body of Akhenaten is also easy to perceive in the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. The rise of the beast, or the alien, would again find a fit extension in Barack Obama as the restored temple of the beast.